Year 12s, we're looking at the structure and function of the frontal lobe in this video. The frontal lobe is suitably named, really. It sits at the front of the brain. Keep in mind that the person is looking to the left in this diagram. We'll quickly look at the functions of the frontal lobe before moving on to an exam question. The frontal lobe is arguably the most pivotal of the four. It is responsible for things such as decision-making, personality, planning, language, and memory. Within the frontal lobe, there is a section called the primary motor cortex. This area is situated directly to the left of the frontal lobe parietal lobe border, as shown in this diagram. We'll call the division between the frontal lobe and the parietal lobe the central fissure, so we can say that the primary motor cortex is just to the left of the central fissure. In particular, the primary motor cortex is responsible for voluntary movements of skeletal muscles. Within the primary motor cortex, different areas are responsible for different parts of the body. But strangely, the left side of the cortex is responsible for the right side of the body, and vice versa. Similarly, the top part of the cortex is responsible for the bottom part of the body, and vice versa. So the bottom left part of the cortex would actually be responsible for your right shoulder. Moreover, bigger parts of the body don't necessarily require big parts of the primary motor cortex. In fact, bigger sections are allocated to parts of the body that require fine motor control. So that means the parts of the body such as the fingers and the lips end up with a much bigger allocation of the primary motor cortex than you may at first think. If the proportion of the primary motor cortex allocated to the body parts was proportionate to their size, then we may look something like this. The frontal lobe also happens to be the home of Broca's area, but we'll deal with that a little later on. Let's see if we can apply any of this to an exam question. This question from the 2013 VCAR exam asks for the lobe responsible for Anya being more moody and aggressive after her brain injury than before it. Even without any knowledge of the other three lobes, we should be able to make a pretty good guess at this one. Remember that we said at the beginning of the video that the frontal lobe is largely responsible for, amongst other things, personality and decision-making. That seems like a pretty good indication that the answer will be A, the frontal lobe. We'll move on to the other three lobes of the brain in the next few videos. Keep working hard and have a psychedelic day.
Thanks for watching. This link will take you to the Engage Wiki, and this link will take you to the next video. What are you still watching for? Click the link.